Loan Tech, it'll teach you the language of technology. It will help you with your online leads. It's free for 1 year. Guys, you need to get in, invest in your business. Go to the webinar, it's free for a year. It's tomorrow, the webinar, tomorrow. Click this banner right over there. So do we have a real estate agent shortage right now? Not a chance. You can't swing a dead cat around without hitting one or two of them, right? Or so you thought. Now, according to Mel Wilson, a broker owner, last year over 100,000 Realtors got out of the business, and 41% are over the age of 60. No wonder we have a hard time selling them technology.
Then again, what can I help you with your press it? And then again, what can it seems like it's can you talk to this watch?
That's right. Over 100,000 realtors got out of the business. That 100,000 realtors that decided to quit paying their dues but are still licensed agents, or just 100,000 who jumped ship. Because frankly, it's amazing NAR's been able to keep as many members as it has. Considering the changing world, mass dissemination of information, and the ability for one person's voice to be heard where 20 years ago it wasn't really the case.
Meaning we could still have a bunch of real estate agents, they're just not realtors and we're not sure. But as far as the 41% of the agents that are over the age of 60, that's a trip, guys, because that would suggest in the coming decade, we're gonna have a bunch of agents getting out of the business. But more importantly, we're going to see the production from these agents, these 41%, go down precipitously. I mean, let's face it, a 70-year-old real estate agent isn't going to have the same vigor as a 35-year-old agent to go hold open houses and show homes. I mean, at the same pace. I'm not being discriminatory in nature, but we slow down as we get older. I mean, you see a lot of 35-year-old people right now running marathons, but not many 70-year-olds. But as far as older agents, hasn't that always been the case?
As with anything, out with the old and in with the new. Sure, to an extent. But this is the interesting part of this whole thing. According to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, in 2015, the last full year, only 2% of real estate agents are under the age of 30. Wow. And the typical age of an agent has gone up from 52 to 58 over the previous year.
This really suggests a paralyzing lack of growth, doesn't it? Now the first part, 2% of agents under the age of 30. The real estate agent sales industry appears to be out with the old and in with really nothing. With regard to the average age jumping from 58 from 52, either one, NAR has really bad record keeping and they screw the year over number up, or more likely two, those that left the industry year over were on the younger side, the much younger side, because that would be the reason for the average age jumping an astounding 6 full years for your average agent. Meaning the real estate sales industry has a double whammy replenishing via younger agents, which they are not doing at this point.
The bigger question we should ask ourselves is, do we actually need to replenish real estate agents? Or has technology and the profile of our borrowers and sellers who understand technology changed so much that you don't need a 60-plus-year-old agent to show you around? An agent who probably has no understanding of technology or how their consumers use it. We're not being mean here, guys. I mean, we're just asking a valid question.
So does the real estate industry need an infusion of younger people who know technology and maybe are quicker to embrace this to get those millennials moving along, or not? Let us know what you think about this down below. Very interesting. Okay, now on to the Mortgage Bankers Association. We've got their chart of the week. The July 2016 credit score profile of an FHA borrower. Check it out, guys. 37% of the people using FHA have a score of 640 to 679. 25% have a score between 680 and 719. 18% are 720 and up. 12% are 620 to 639. And almost 6%, just a little over 5, have scores of 619 and lower. In other words, the FHA credit profiles have more or less fallen in line with what we'd expect and what we want. The majority of people using FHA have a good credit profile, but less than perfect. Then the second tier of borrowers are the ones with really good credit scores, the 720 and up guys. Then we move down to fewer people using it who are a little bit more challenging, and the smallest people who are using FHA right now, the smallest pool is a 619 and down credit score guy, who might have a really good reason for having jacked up credit. And this is all good and healthy for FHA, what we'd expect to see.
The real issue is the number of people using the FHA. As we've seen, the big banks have all come out with FHA killer loans at 3% down and expanded credit. Now get this, Wells Fargo's version of the not FHA loan has booked $1 billion in applications in the program's first 30 days.
Now, these are all loans that would have landed primarily with FHA if Wells Fargo hadn't created this program. And the issue is, if lenders keep pulling away from FHA with these type of programs, it becomes more and more difficult for FHA to keep their MMI account above the congressionally mandated levels. And this, by the way, is just Wells Fargo.
In addition to Wells, Chicago Infrastructure Trust, Guarantee Rate, American Financial Home Trust, Pacor Mortgage, Wintrust, Quicken, and even United Wholesale Mortgage on the wholesale end are offering 3% or less down, which will continue to pull from FHA's production numbers.
And understand, when FHA gets their money, they're using that money for a lot of other programs around the country, philanthropic type of programs to help people out. That's money they're just not receiving. That just turns into profit for these banks. You have to understand that. And again, as we spoke about this thing yesterday, there's always a cause and an effect relationship in place with business. The effect is fewer FHA loans. The cause, it's lawsuits. Or the perception, the threat of lawsuits from HUD and the Department of Justice over FHA deals. And there, my friends, you have today's greatest with FHA.
I'm still tripping on the first story. 41% of all realtors are over the age of 60.
That's what they say.
That's crazy. Because you're right, within about a 10-year period, most of those people are going to exit. You know, they're going to retire. They're just going to not do it anymore. That's almost half of the realtor force that's out there that's slated to disappear over the next 10 years.
Well,
that's fascinating to me.
Well, and what do you have? 1 million real estate agents around the country?
Yeah.
We're talking about 500,000 people going out of work. It's
Right.
a huge number.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you're going to see the production level start to slow. As
Yeah.
people get closer to their retirement, they're not going to be hitting the weekends as much. I mean,
Right.
it's human nature. It's not a
Yeah.
knock on anyone.
Yeah.
So where are we going to pick up that type of production if we have half of our workforce disappearing over the next decade?
I think...
Is it technology or younger people?
NAR might want to start doing their advertising, you know, the NAR ads that you see all the time. They're like, puppies love homes. Talk to a realtor. You know, maybe it needs to be, hey, come work in the real estate industry, young people. You know, I don't know.
Right,
So-
no, you're right. And there really is a question in messaging here. There really is. If you're going to lose half your workforce and we're not seeing NAR scrambling to do something about it, there's a failure to identify the problem or there's a failure with messaging.
What are your thoughts again down below? Let us know. You guys have a great day. Forward, share, and subscribe in your upper right-hand corner. We'll catch you later here at the National Real Estate Post.
Level 12.
Bye.
Bye.
God.